Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review of these Title Boxing old school leather bag gloves. So stay tuned. Okay guys, today we have these Title Boxing old school bag gloves. We'll do a close-up weigh-in and review on. And these are Title's newer style, old school inspired boxing gloves in full leather construction. You can see that they integrate welted seams for added durability. And the leather is this ox blood red color, which gives it a really nice, unique look. Kind of reminds me of a burgundy color or maroon. You can see it has just that Title Boxing, kind of their classic logo. It has a cloth patch that's stitched onto the back of the leather strap. But you can also see the kind of foam they use in here is a layered foam with horsehair. So it kind of gives you that nice puncher's feel with a good layer of protection as well. And the leather itself actually is really nice. It gives it more of an old school wrinkly look. You can see the wrinkles in the leather. And even though I've used these bag gloves several times, they look like this straight out of the box. So you get that nice old school kind of wrinkly look fresh out of the box. It's not something you have to break in to get that look. But you can kind of see the consistency of the glove itself. The leather, the welted seams, you do have a grip bar right there. Double stitching, everything looks pretty clean. Attached thumb, you can see the thumb does have kind of that old school wide out thumb that you see in some of the old school gloves. You know, that a lot of the older boxers, Ollie, Liston, Rocky Marciano, guys of the previous generations used to use. Genuine leather there. And the inside has this satin nylon liner. We got mine in 16 ounces. Has white piping on the cuff, on the inside of the wrist, as well as around the thumb. I'll show you guys the right side. Just kind of give you guys an overall look of the glove. And you can actually see just the kind of padding it is. Has a medium density to it. Not extremely soft and broken in, but you can see that that horsehair does lend to give you more of a puncher's feel, where the layered foam kind of gives you a little bit more protection and better for shock absorption. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and put these on the scale, see how much they actually weigh. And start off with this right glove. So the right glove is at 15.6 ounces. So just a hair under 16 ounces. And the left glove is right at 15.4, 15.5. So they're pretty much on point with weight with each other, and about a ½ ounce underweight under their 16 ounce targeted weight. So let's go ahead and do that. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. And today I'm going to be doing a review of these Title Boxing old school bag gloves. It comes in this oxblood red color scheme. The bag glove version comes in this Velcro closure. They also have a sparring version that comes in lace up. Identical gloves, just a different kind of closure. You can get it in 14 or 16 ounces. I got mine in 16 ounces. Now this is Title Boxing's kind of their ode to the old school. The ode to they're giving tribute to the past generation of old school boxing gloves. And back in the 40s, 50s, you know, you had a lot of these boxers, Rocky Marciano, Sonny Liston, Archie Moore, Joe Louis. I mean, the list goes on and on of these old school boxers. And these are the kind of gloves they would use back in the day. You know, not much technology built into it, not much technology like you see today with multi-layer foams and special kinds of leathers and nice thumbs and awesome stitching, Kevlar stitching, cool colors, split palms, split thumbs. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's out there nowadays, and there's so much to choose from. But it's also nice to see these kind of gloves still out there to use, and a lot of people are big fans of these old school vintage gloves. Some of the guys that are maybe a little bit older and are still using boxing as a way for training. Maybe they're doing it for fitness, and they're still huge fans of the boxing world. So it's really cool to see these kind of gloves. So as you can see here, it uses oxblood red color, which is kind of like a maroon, and it has a kind of darker look to it. Full genuine leather construction. These gloves are made in India, and I was actually really surprised on how well these gloves performed. I was thinking this glove would be a little bit more of like a trinket, like something that you would buy and you just kind of put them together and you lay them on top of like your, on top of your dresser, so it looks cool. just more of like a shelf piece or something you hang on the wall. You kind of put the laces together and you hang it on top of, you know, somewhere in your garage to kind of give it a cool look. But these gloves are 100% usable for training, and they actually do a very nice job when you do use them for training. But you can see here, again, the leather has more of a vintage wrinkly look to it, and that's by design. That's not for me just using it. That's where the wrinkles actually came with how the glove looked when I pulled them out of the box. So that wrinkly look is part of the way the glove looks right there. You also have more of a flared out thumb, which is like a lot of old school gloves. A lot of the old school gloves also had an unattached thumb back in the day, especially for bag gloves that weren't going to be used for sparring. So you wouldn't even have this leather attached piece. You would just have this open thumb, which is really nice because you could really fold and tuck your thumb in when you're punching and get that full maximum power transfer without sacrificing the possibility of injuring your thumb. You do have a large size grip bar right there, double stitching, white piping around the thumb, white piping on the palm side right there, 3.5 inch Velcro strap, and welted seams. So another big feature of a lot of the old school gloves is using these welted seams, which helps with durability. You don't see the actual exposed stitching, which helps keep the stitching on the inside from pulling on the leather and kind of coming undone. And you can see overall looks pretty good throughout. Fingertip compartment right there. And show you guys the Velcro strap, full length Velcro strap. The inside uses a tricot liner, some little polyester nylon on the middle section, tricot on the outside. It has more of a moisture wicking property to it. 16-ounce tag, also shows where it's manufactured, made in India. So overall, a very cool looking glove. It definitely looks old school with the color and just the actual shape and dimensions of the gloves. The quality of these gloves are actually really nice. I was surprised on how clean these are. I feel like Title, as of recent, has really stepped up their game when it comes to not only the variety of gloves, but the quality of their gloves as well. And you can see the leather on here is really nice. Has a nice grain to it. It has more of a satin kind of finish. You know, you can see that the attached thumb looks really clean. The welted seams look really good as well. Palm looks good. It utilizes horsehair and layered foam on the inside. And you can see that's bonded all nicely to the leather on the fingertip compartment. The welted seam on the outside edge looks good. Right here on the hinge point between the wrist and the upper portion of the glove looks good. Velcro is clean. The stitching on the Velcro strap is really good. All leather construction there on both sides. So that looks clean. Where the actual strap connects to the glove itself looks good. Welted seams. Piping is really clean. Has that white piping. No stitching coming out. No exposed foam on the inside liner. Looks clean as well. And overall, it looks really nice. The leather consistency is really good too. It's not like they use two separate cuts of leather. They use the same leather throughout the entire glove. So that looks really good as well. And balance of the gloves here. You can see that it's actually a really well balanced glove. It's not too top heavy. So they do a nice job of distributing the weight through the wrist area. That way there's not too much weight towards the front. It's not a front loaded glove. So you can see their quality overall is really nice and overall pretty good. I mean, there's nothing really here that really popped out and said, okay, this is really just terrible. So overall, really nice. Now, the comfort of the glove, sliding your hand in here, the first thing you'll notice is the thumb. And not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a different thing. I feel like the thumb, with a lot of these old school gloves, obviously flare out a little bit more. The one issue I would say that these gloves have, if you're gonna use the sparring versions, is that your thumb kind of flares out more, so it gives you a little extra protection for either jamming your thumb or breaking your thumb. Now, a lot of newer style gloves have that parallel running thumb that kind of pulls your thumb in more. And if you're making a fist without gloves on, you really wanna make sure you tuck your thumb underneath those two front fingers, because that's the two fingers that are the knuckles on those fingers is what's gonna land when you turn your punches over. That's what you're trying to land on your opponent, is right here. So your thumb is tucked in, that way you don't have any possibility of injuring it. And that's kind of the same premise behind these attached thumbs, as well as thumbs that are on these newer style gloves where they tuck them in really nicely and you don't expose that. So that, to me, that's a little bit of a vulnerability, but that's kind of the sacrifice you have with an old school looking glove, and that's more or less by design. Hand compartment feels really good. I did feel a little bit of tightness around this area right here where the stitching at is at, and it took me about 2 days to really break that in. It's not an issue now, but considering that you're gonna have hand wraps on, this is a little tight. Wrist feels really nice and secure with that 1/4 inch of padding on the front and 3/4 inch of padding on the back. Feels pretty nice and secure. Fingertip compartment is really nice and deep. They use a piece of neoprene to cover the stitching on the finger compartment. That's not too thick, so it doesn't feel like it impedes on your actual fingertips. And the great thing about this glove, because it uses that horsehair blend, is that you get that nice broken in feel right out of the box. You don't have to really worry about this being too stiff. One thing I do want to mention, which kind of goes along with the quality of this glove, is that they left a little excess of some of the inside liner. Kind of that tricot piece, that tricot liner, they left it right between my index finger and my middle finger. So it's not uncomfortable per se, but you can definitely feel it there. And I would assume that they do some kind of QC check before they send these gloves off, that they slide their hand into the glove and just make sure everything feels right. And I feel like they definitely missed that with these gloves. You can feel it right there on that fingertip, right inside here, that there's a little bit of extra material that, I wouldn't even say it bunches up, it's just like a flap that flaps on there. So definitely a little bit of quality issue on the inside liner, but definitely not uncomfortable, just something I noticed. So you can see nicely broken in and feels really good. Now the protection and performance, these gloves obviously utilize horsehair. So the intent for that is to give you a little bit more feedback and a little bit more of a broken in feel. And they also use layered foam. So you're kind of getting that old school horsehair with a new school feel to it. And I really like them. You can see that it has more of a medium to soft density feel, but I'd say once it compresses down, you can see that it's nice and flat and you really land. But once it gets to a certain point of compressing, that's when that layered foam takes over and does the rest of the work, where the horsehair kind of gives you that initial cushion, if you want to call it, till they really brace the impact. But when the foam really compresses down, that's when it really gives you that shock absorption. So you're really getting that nice pop, but then it also compresses down to where it doesn't allow you to transfer too much shock into your knuckles. So you could definitely use this on the bag real nice and comfortably and really put in some power in your shots and not really be worried about injuring your hands. So definitely really nice with the protection there, the performance, the wrist feels really good, the support feels nice in there. Obviously, this is a little bit more of an old school glove, so if you have wrist issues, make sure you wrap your hands up properly, even tape off your wrist before you use these gloves. That way you have maximum protection when you're using this on the bag. Cost-wise, these gloves are $79, which for me is actually a really good deal, all things considered. It's a full leather constructed glove. For those of you that want something more old school, that like the vintage look, the color looks great, full leather construction, quality is really nice. I do like the fact that they integrate the horsehair into this glove, and just the overall look and feel of this glove is really nice. I mean, I honestly think this can easily be a $100 glove, and it still sell pretty well. But the fact that it's only 79 bucks, and Title Boxing always does those 20% off if you sign up for the newsletter, and they always do frequent sales whenever it's like a major holiday. So you can definitely get this glove for even cheaper than 79 bucks. And even at full price, I think it's a really a good deal for this type of glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Title Boxing old school bag gloves. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.